more mommy tips and some more mommy talk. Today, we are going to be talking about how to train your child to crib sleep. I am an advocate of crib sleeping. I know you have some moms out there who are co-sleepers, and if that works for you, then great. But I know I get a lot of questions about how I got both of my kids to sleep in their bedroom together at such a young age. So I want to give some tips and some advice about that. That's what we're going to be talking about today, okay? But before we get started, do not forget to subscribe. Click that subscribe button that's going to be to the right of your screen. And don't forget to hit your bell so you get notifications about every time I post. Okay? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Learning how to crib sleep. Okay, moms, before we get started on how to crib sleep and how to teach your kids how to crib sleep and all that jazz, first I wanted to talk to you all about some pros and cons of co-sleeping. I know you moms, some of your moms love co-sleeping and you're set in your ways. You're not changing it. But I do want to give you some tips about it because there are some pros, but there are also some cons. So I got 3 pros and I got 3 cons. Pros. It encourages breastfeeding. And it's more convenient to breastfeed when you co-sleep. Obviously, because the baby's right there. When they're crying, when they're whining, all you gotta do is pop it out, pop it in their mouth, they eat, pop it back in, and go back to sleep. Instead of necessarily having to get up, go in the room, take them out the crib, and then have to go through back putting them down. I get it. It's more convenient, and it encourages breastfeeding. Helps the baby to fall asleep faster and easier, which I know when you become a first-time mom or any mom, when you got a newborn, you're trying to get them to sleep. So it is easier to get them to fall asleep when they're right next to you. And it leads to more nighttime sleeping for the baby, which you probably would think it would lead to more nighttime sleeping for mommy, but not always, okay? Let's move over to the cons. Less sleep for mommy, because a lot of the times, as long as the baby's sleeping, us as moms will take the red eye. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, well, as long as they're, especially when they're newborns and they don't sleep a lot anyway, when they finally go to sleep, we'll scoot over to the edge of the bed. We'll be on the corner half and got our head plopped up, and we'll be in all different weird kind of positions just to try to get a little bit of sleep. But the majority of the time, they sleeping good, they're comfortable, we're uncomfortable, and we're getting less sleep, which is not always good because you need to sleep and you need a break and you need some sleep. Lord. And then you've got health reasons. Obviously, you've got health reasons with everything, but that was my biggest fear, which is the reason why I chose not to co-sleep with my second son, was just because of the fear that I always had I was going to roll over on him, or, I was going to elbow him or kick him in the head or something crazy because I'm asleep and I don't know. So that's going to be a negative. And then also you just have your things like SIDS, you have accidental deaths and all those things. Not that I want you to worry too much about that, but I'm giving you the information so that you have it. So you have health issues, make sure, I'm going to have some links down in the description box below, and make sure you click on the link so you can look into more reasons about health. And last and most important, less intimacy for mommy and daddy. You need that time to just cuddle and get in the bed with your man and just relax and just chill and have a break and have a glass of wine and get snuggled and watch a movie. Yes, you need that time. And if the baby is always in the bed with you, it's gonna get neglected, and it's not okay. We have to make sure we're taking care of our marriages, people. Make sure we're taking care of our marriages. Put that baby in the crib and tend to your man. So now getting into our tips on how to crib sleep, my first piece of advice would obviously be is to don't get it started. From day one, when they come home from that hospital, put them in that crib. That's gonna solve a lot of your problems from day one. When you bring them home and you start snuggling and cuddling up with them in the bed and breastfeeding them on command whenever they want it, and you're building bad habits, and that's usually what's the beginning of the problem, and when they don't want to cut it. So my piece of advice is don't start it from the beginning. Put them in the crib. They will live. Amen, somebody. But for those moms who did not start that, we've got a couple tips for you to help you get started, but ultimately it is going to be on you. You have all power, you have all control. They are babies. They have no control over what they do and where they go to sleep. So this plan will ultimately work if you stick to it and if you get in the habit of training. If you get lax, they're just going to cry and they're going to wear you out before you wear them out. Tip number 1, start with naps. Do not try to go right into it with all night and trying to put them down in the crib and make them sleep in the bed all night, because it's not going to be that simple. I say start with naps. That's what I did. Start with their naps. My kids at the time had 2 naps a day, so we would start with naps, put them in their cribs. Of course they would fuss or whatever, but they eventually got used to the naps, going into the crib for the naps. Tip number 2, put them down when they are still fussy, but they are sleepy. That was one thing that was crucial when I started crib training both of my kids. Well, I didn't even have to crib train the second one, but with my first one, when I had to start crib training him, was to put him down when he was fussy, but especially when he was sleepy. Because the best thing about it is don't put them down when they're already asleep, because then they're going to wake up and cry for you. Let them fall asleep in the crib so that they can get used to the environment, get used to seeing what's around them, understand where they are, and be comfortable where they are enough to fall asleep. That is the key. So they may be a little fussy, but if they're sleepy and they're still awake, that's the best time to put them down in the crib. Tip number 3. Now, when you have mastered nap times, that's when it's time to move over to the full nighttime sleeping in the crib, okay? And the key to that, which is my tip number 3, is to get a nighttime routine. Meaning, if they get a bath, if you read them a book, if they get a little nighttime snack or whatever it is, have your routine that you do every night, because schedule is key with kids. Most of the times when they have a schedule, their bodies usually start to flow in the function of the schedule. So get a nighttime routine and stick to it. Tip number 4. Now, this may be a little difficult for some moms because it was very difficult for me too, but in the long run, it ended up working. Let them cry it out. At the end of the day, they are not going to learn how to sleep in their crib if you keep coming in there, picking them up, patting them, trying to pat them to sleep, rocking them and all that, and then putting them back down, and then the whole cycle just starts all over again. As soon as you put them down, they go into complete panic mode. No, put them down. After bath time, after whatever routine you have, you put them down. If they have I personally gave my kids a bottle when they first laid down, because hey, you're taking them out of your bed and you can't just strip them of everything. So I put them down in their crib, gave them a bottle, and at that time I played some music or something in the room, and I let them see me walk out of the room and close the door, and so that way they can get their mind conditioned that it's time to go to sleep. Of course they're gonna scream and cry as if they are completely dying and losing breath and can't breathe and the life is just completely over. Yes, but they're okay. They're okay. And I'm not gonna stand here and act like, oh, it was just so easy for me. No, I was literally on the side of the crib, on the floor where he couldn't see me, just like watching him cry, because my heart couldn't take going in my room and just having him scream. But I did not let him see me. I was on the floor. Yes, I was in the room. I was on the floor watching him cry for like 2 hours until he finally fell asleep. Then I was able to go. And as time went on, and as we did it often, as we stuck to the schedule, and as we kept doing it, it became less and less and less and less. So moms, the 4 keys is obviously going to be limit distractions. Don't let people start getting in your ear, girl, no. If this is what you want to do, if you're ready to crib sleep, limit distractions. And even for the baby, babies are finicky. They have the attention span of a gnat. I mean, they're just up. I mean, any little bitty noise, they're moving. They're just any little bitty thing, they're moving. No, when it's time for bed, let's dim the lights. Let's bring it in. Let's set that sleep tone in the atmosphere. Okay. 2, get in the habit. You have to get in the habit of doing it daily on a consistent basis. Now, of course, you're gonna have your times if they're sick or those things or whatever. We're moms, so if they're sick or you having something going on where they're not able to sleep in the crib, it's okay. But I'm saying for the most part, let's get in the habit of the nightly routine and putting them down in their crib to go to sleep. Try white noises. That's another key. You think you can do that? Like I said, I play music. I know some moms do television. Some people do like a fan or something, or I don't know, like just it's a bunch of different stuff out there. Look it up. You can just try different noises in the room that can kind of help them. They have the little spin things where it's a lullaby. You can wind it up and it'll play like hush little baby, don't you? All that. Try all that. That works as well. But my original first tip is just don't get it started. Just avoid all of this. When you bring them home, just get them on the schedule to sleep in their own bed, and you won't have to deal with all this. Okay, mommies, that's all I've got for you today. I hope this video was helpful. Like I said, it's an uphill battle. It is, but I will say it is worth it, because once you get them trained, like when they go to bed, I look forward to bedtime. I look forward to nap time, because that's my break. That's my me time, and it's good to have it, okay? But Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments, please leave them in the description box below. And I'll be sure and happy to answer any questions for you. And do not forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button that's going to be to the right of your screen. And don't forget to hit your bell so you get all your notifications about every time I post. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. And ladies, please always remember that your kids appreciate you for everything that you do, even putting them out of your bedroom. They appreciate you for it, okay? And a woman who fears the Lord, her children will rise up and call her blessed. Thanks so much, guys.